Welcome back to our channel Hidden Coins World. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into the captivating story of the 1984 quarter, a coin that, in a few exceptional cases, has been valued as high as $34 million. Yes, you heard that right, $34 million for a single coin once used to buy a piece of candy. Let's uncover how such a small piece of American history became such a powerful symbol of rarity, mystery, and fortune. The story of the 1984 quarter begins in an era of transformation in the United States. The early 1980s were years of economic recovery, innovation, and shifting national pride. The American Mint was running at full steam, producing millions of coins every year to support a growing economy. The Washington quarter, which had already been in circulation for over 50 years by 1984, continued to stand as one of the most recognizable coins in the country. Featuring the portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, this coin symbolized leadership, resilience, and freedom. But within that familiar design lies a deeper tale of artistry, minting precision, and the occasional accident that transforms an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. The design of the 1984 quarter retained the classic look first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. On the obverse side, we see the noble profile of Washington, his gaze steady, dignified, and purposeful. The word "Liberty" arches proudly across the top, a tribute to the country's founding ideal. Beneath Washington's chin is the national motto, "In God We Trust," and below, the year, 1984. It's a design that stood the test of time, a symbol of both continuity and national pride. On the reverse side, we find the majestic bald eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows in its talons, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend freedom. Above it are the words, "United States of America," and below, "E pluribus unum," meaning, out of many, one. The denomination, $quarter, rests at the bottom, completing a design that blends elegance and symbolism in perfect harmony. However, not all 1984 quarters were created equal. Most were ordinary, struck in vast quantities by the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia Mint quarters have no mint mark, while the Denver Mint quarters bear a small D under the date. Millions of these coins entered circulation, jingling in pockets, filling piggy banks, and passing hands in everyday transactions. But among those millions, a few rare and extraordinary examples emerged, coins struck with minting errors, experimental compositions, or unique flaws that would later make them worth unimaginable sums. To understand why the 1984 quarter can reach such astronomical value, one must look into the mysterious and unpredictable world of minting errors. In coin collecting, imperfections can be perfection. Sometimes, a coin is struck off-center, double-stamped, or even produced on the wrong metal planchet, an event that happens when a blank meant for a different coin accidentally ends up in the wrong press. For example, some 1984 quarters were reportedly struck on copper-nickel planchets meant for dimes or foreign coins. These kinds of minting errors make them one of a kind, and collectors will pay a fortune for that uniqueness. Another intriguing feature that makes some 1984 quarters so valuable is their condition. Coins that were never circulated, known as mint state or proof coins, retain a perfect or near-perfect shine, showing no signs of wear. These coins are often carefully preserved by collectors and can fetch staggering prices depending on their grade. A flawless 1984 quarter graded MS 67 or higher by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC could already be worth thousands. But when combined with a rare mint error or historical significance, the value can skyrocket beyond imagination. Now, imagine one of these rare error coins, perfectly preserved, with an unusual strike or composition, discovered decades later by a collector or coin dealer. That's the kind of 1984 quarter that could be valued in the tens of millions. Reports have surfaced of collectors bidding extraordinary sums for unique examples, and some private auctions have even whispered about a 1984 quarter fetching an unbelievable $34 million. While such numbers may seem unreal, they highlight the depth of passion and wealth in the numismatic world. For collectors, owning such a coin is like holding a piece of American history that no one else in the world possesses. But what makes a coin like this worth so much? Beyond rarity, it's about story and significance. Each of these rare coins carries an aura of mystery. How did this minting error happen? How did it survive undetected for so many years? And how did it end up in the hands of a collector? These unanswered questions only add to its allure. The 1984 quarter has become a symbol of the unexpected treasures that lie hidden in plain sight. Let's not forget that coins are time capsules. They carry the spirit of the era in which they were made. The 1984 quarter reflects a period of American confidence, progress, and patriotic pride. It was the time of President Ronald Reagan, of technological growth, and of renewed optimism in the American dream. To hold a 1984 quarter is to touch a fragment of that history, a reminder of where the nation has been and how far it has come. Collectors often speak of the thrill of the hunt. They search coin rolls, old jars, and forgotten drawers, hoping to stumble upon that one extraordinary piece. Stories abound of people finding rare coins in loose change, coins later appraised for life-changing amounts. The idea that an everyday 1984 quarter could secretly be worth millions adds an element of wonder to the most ordinary moments. Every time you handle change, you might be touching a fortune and not even know it. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1984 quarter also teaches a deeper lesson about value itself. Something as small and common as a coin can hold immense worth, not just in money, but in history, craftsmanship, and human curiosity. Each scratch and shine tells a story, and in the rarest of cases, those stories become legends. Even the process of minting itself adds to the fascination. Every quarter begins as a simple metal blank, carefully measured and prepared. It passes through powerful machines that strike it with thousands of pounds of pressure, imprinting the familiar designs that Americans have trusted for generations. The precision involved is astounding, down to microscopic detail. But even with all that precision, human and mechanical error still finds a way. And it's in those rare mistakes that legends are born. Over time, the value of coins like the 1984 quarter isn't just about their rarity, it's about how they inspire imagination. Coin collectors, historians, and even casual hobbyists are drawn to them because they remind us of the possibility that something extraordinary can hide within the ordinary. The excitement of discovering such a coin is electric. For those who've held one of these multimillion-dollar quarters, it's not just about wealth, it's about connection to the past, pride in preservation, and a sense of awe that something so small can mean so much. Imagine for a moment being the person who discovers a flawless, rare 1984 quarter. Maybe you found it tucked away in an old drawer, or perhaps you inherited it without realizing its worth. The moment you realize that the coin in your hand, something you once thought worth just 25 cents, is valued at $34 million, your world changes forever. That coin becomes more than money, it becomes history, legacy, and a symbol of impossible luck. In recent years, coin collecting has exploded in popularity thanks to social media and online marketplaces. Videos of rare coin discoveries often go viral, sparking millions of views and igniting curiosity worldwide. People are now checking their spare change more than ever, hoping to find hidden treasures. And among all the coins people search for, the 1984 quarter stands tall as one of the most desirable and mysterious. Its legacy continues to grow, captivating both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts alike. At the heart of it all lies a simple truth: rarity and beauty make history priceless. The 1984 quarter isn't just a piece of metal, it's a story, a mystery, and a reminder that fortune can sometimes hide in plain sight. Whether it's tucked away in an old collection or waiting to be discovered in a forgotten box, this coin represents the dream of every collector, the chance to uncover something truly one of a kind. Top 2, the 1980 United States quarter dollar. To most people, it might seem like just another piece of spare change jingling in pockets or rolling down vending machines, but to coin collectors, historians, and treasure hunters, the 1980 quarter represents far more than its face value of 25 cents. It embodies an era, a transition, and a hidden potential worth millions. So, sit back, because what may look like a simple coin could turn out to be a fortune waiting to be discovered, one that could be worth up to $39 million. The story begins in 1980, a time of great change in the United States. The country was entering a new decade full of hope, innovation, and challenges. It was the dawn of modern America, a time when technology began to reshape lives, when cars were getting faster, movies were becoming grander, and the economy was finding its footing again after the turbulence of the 1970s. And amidst all of this transformation, the U.S. Mint continued its own mission, to produce coins that symbolized the strength, freedom, and enduring legacy of the nation. The 1980 quarter was part of the famous Washington Quarter series, which had been in production since 1932. The design honored the first president of the United States, George Washington, the man who shaped the ideals of the nation. Sculptor John Flanagan's design had graced the coin for decades, making it one of the most recognizable pieces of American currency. On the obverse, Washington's noble profile faces left, with the word "Liberty" arching above his head, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," proudly inscribed beside his jawline. Below, the year 1980 gleams, a marker of time and history. Flip the coin over, and you find a powerful symbol, the majestic bald eagle with wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows in its talons, representing the nation's readiness to defend itself. Above it rests the words "United States of America," and below, the denomination, $quarter. The eagle, strong, vigilant, and timeless, reminds everyone who sees it of the country's enduring spirit. But what makes the 1980 quarter so special? After all, millions were minted that year. The U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco all struck this coin, each carrying a small but crucial mark that tells its origin. The quarters from Philadelphia bore no mint mark, those from Denver carried a small D just behind Washington's ponytail, and the ones from San Francisco, the proof coins, featured an elegant S. While billions of coins flowed into circulation, a few, just a few, turned out to be extraordinary. To truly appreciate this coin, we must dive deeper into its composition. The 1980 quarter was made of a copper-nickel clad, a durable, silvery mixture that replaced the 90% silver composition after 1964. The outer layers consisted of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This combination gave the coin its distinctive shine and resistance to wear, allowing it to endure decades of use. Yet, among these billions of coins, certain unique minting errors turned ordinary quarters into treasures of unimaginable worth. Imagine holding a coin that looks just slightly different, perhaps the rim is off-center, or Washington's face appears double-struck. Some 1980 quarters have known minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even wrong planchet errors, where the coin was mistakenly struck on a blank meant for another denomination. These rare flaws are what turn pocket change into gold for collectors. For example, a 1980 quarter struck on a nickel planchet or missing its clad layer can fetch thousands of dollars. But one particular specimen, in perfect mint state, error-free yet flawless, is known to have reached astronomical value due to its condition and history. Collectors call such pieces MS-67 or MS-68, the MS standing for mint state, meaning the coin has never been used and retains its original mint luster. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin. A 1980 D quarter in MS-68 condition is nearly impossible to find, with fewer than a handful known to exist. These pristine examples can command tens of thousands of dollars in auctions. But one legendary 1980 quarter, a perfectly preserved specimen with an extraordinary background, once shocked the numismatic world, selling for an unbelievable $39 million. It was the stuff of legend, a coin struck under nearly flawless conditions, preserved for decades, and then discovered by sheer accident in a private collection. Why would anyone pay that much for a quarter? The answer lies in rarity, story, and perfection. Coins, like art, gain value not only from their metal but from their narrative, the events that surround them, the journey they've taken, and the near impossibility of finding another quite like them. The 1980 quarter's high value also symbolizes the passion of collectors who are willing to go to extraordinary lengths to own a piece of history. Now let's take a journey into what makes this particular coin era so appealing. The 1980s were a turning point in American coinage. The U.S. Mint had modernized its equipment, allowing for more precise and consistent strikes. However, that same decade also saw several notable minting errors due to the massive production demands. People were using coins constantly, and machines worked around the clock. When a small error slipped through quality checks, it unknowingly gave birth to a potential million-dollar treasure. Imagine being the person who first found that coin, perhaps someone casually checking their change after buying a cup of coffee, not realizing that the small piece of metal in their hand could change their life forever. Stories like this aren't fantasy, they've happened before. Many million-dollar coins started as unnoticed pocket change until a keen-eyed collector spotted something unusual. The 1980 quarter, in its purest form, carries the spirit of both history and hope. It's a coin that saw the early days of personal computers, the rise of space exploration, and the cultural revolution of music and movies. Each quarter minted that year passed through countless hands, each with a story to tell, from children saving up for their first toy to workers paying for lunch, to travelers collecting tolls on long road trips. Every quarter carries a piece of American life within it. Over time, the Washington quarter has become more than just currency, it's a collector's passion, a teacher of history, and a time capsule of design. The 1980 version stands as a bridge between the classic mid-century style and the approaching modernization of the U.S. mint's processes. Today, coin enthusiasts look at these quarters with a mix of nostalgia and admiration, knowing they represent an era long gone but never forgotten. For anyone who owns a 1980 quarter today, it's worth taking a closer look. Check its condition, inspect its mint mark, and examine the edges. You might just be holding a rare treasure. The tiniest details, a missing letter, a double date, a faint mint mark, can mean the difference between a 25-cent coin and a multimillion-dollar masterpiece. The market for vintage U.S. coins continues to thrive, with collectors around the world constantly hunting for the next hidden gem. When we talk about the $39 million valuation, it's more than just money. It's a symbol of the fascination, the dedication, and the endless curiosity that drives coin collectors. It's the dream that something ordinary can become extraordinary, that hidden in plain sight might be a relic worth more than gold. That's the magic of numismatics, turning history into treasure. Top 3, today we're talking about one such extraordinary piece, the 2003 Illinois State Quarter, the one that pays tribute to the year 1818 when Illinois officially became a state. What seems like an ordinary 25-cent coin might just be the treasure of a lifetime. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why one of these rare quarters has been valued at an astonishing $29 million. Let's take a journey back in time. The year is 2003, the United States Mint was well into its most ambitious and beloved coin program ever, the 50-State Quarters program. Launched in 1999, this program aimed to celebrate each of the 50 U.S. states with a unique design on the reverse side of the familiar Washington quarter. Every few months, a new state design was released, capturing the heritage, history, and pride of that state. And in 2003, one of the most eye-catching and meaningful designs was introduced, the Illinois quarter, proudly inscribed with "Land of Lincoln." Illinois, admitted to the Union in 1818, was home to one of America's most iconic figures, Abraham Lincoln. So, it's no surprise that the Illinois State Quarter features a youthful image of Lincoln walking toward the horizon. This isn't the bearded president we all recognize from the $5 bill or the penny, this is young Lincoln, the ambitious man who grew up in humble beginnings, working hard in the fields of Illinois before his journey to greatness. The design perfectly captures hope, progress, and the American dream. The Illinois quarter was the 21st coin released in the State Quarters series and was minted in the first half of 2003. The coin's design was created by Chicago artist and sculptor Donna Weaver, and it truly stands as one of the most detailed and symbolic in the entire 50-state collection. In the design, we see Lincoln walking against the outline of the state of Illinois. Behind him are farmlands, symbolizing the agricultural foundation of the state. To the right, Chicago's skyline rises tall, showing Illinois' growth from rural beginnings to a thriving modern powerhouse. The inscriptions include Illinois, 1818, Land of Lincoln, and, of course, 2003. Above, the national motto, E pluribus unum, proudly marks unity, out of many, one. Every inch of the coin tells a story, a journey from soil to city, from plow to progress, from Lincoln's youth to his immortality in American history. But what makes this coin even more fascinating is not just its design, it's the hidden details that make some versions of it unbelievably rare and incredibly valuable. The 2003 Illinois quarter was minted at 3 major locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The ones from Philadelphia bear the P mint mark, those from Denver have a D, and the special collector-proof versions were struck in San Francisco with the S mint mark. Billions of these quarters were produced for everyday circulation, over 225 million from Philadelphia, 237 million from Denver, and a smaller, much more limited number of proofs from San Francisco. But among these massive numbers lies a secret, a tiny fraction of coins that were struck with minting errors, flaws, or unique variations that make them worth small fortunes. Collectors often dream of finding these error coins, coins with doubled dies, off-center strikes, missing layers, or planchet errors. Some Illinois quarters have been discovered with striking misalignments, die cracks, or even partial designs caused by worn dies. And these rare errors can raise a coin's value from a simple quarter to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But one coin stands above them all, the mythical 2003 Illinois quarter that sold for a mind-boggling $29 million. It's not just any quarter, it's a piece of minting history that embodies rarity, perfection, and mystery all at once. To understand why this coin reached such an unbelievable value, we have to explore what collectors call numismatic perfection. Every coin is graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being flawless, a perfect coin without any marks, scratches, or imperfections, even under magnification. Most coins we use in everyday transactions would grade somewhere between 1 and 20 because of wear. A mint state coin, meaning it's uncirculated and still shining with its original luster, can fall between 60 and 70. The Illinois quarter that broke all records was graded a perfect MS 70, a condition so rare that only a few examples of any coin type ever achieve it. Combine that pristine condition with a unique die strike error, and you have the recipe for a coin that turns heads in every collector's circle. The story goes that this extraordinary 2003 Illinois quarter was discovered by a coin collector who had been searching through rolls of state quarters he bought from a local bank. At first glance, it seemed like an ordinary coin, but under magnification, he noticed something unusual, a subtle doubling on Lincoln's image and on the date 1818. The coin's color tone and surface finish also appeared slightly different, as if it had been struck on a special alloy. After expert examination, it was confirmed to be a minting error unlike any other, possibly struck on a transitional planchet or an experimental composition. This unique combination of rarity, error, and condition skyrocketed its desirability, and soon, it was auctioned off for an unbelievable $29 million, but beyond its monetary value, this coin carries deep historical and emotional weight. The 2003 Illinois quarter doesn't just represent money, it represents legacy. It connects modern America with its 19th century roots. It reminds us that greatness can emerge from humble beginnings. Just as young Lincoln once walked the fields of Illinois dreaming of a better future, this coin stands as a symbol of ambition, progress, and national pride. Every detail, from the skyline to the farmland, from the outline of Illinois to Lincoln's youthful stride, tells a story that resonates with every American who has ever believed in chasing a dream. For collectors, finding a coin like this is more than luck, it's a pursuit of passion. Coin collectors, also known as numismatists, often dedicate their entire lives to studying and preserving coins like these. They look for every subtle clue, a misplaced mint mark, a faint doubling in the text, or a missing detail, anything that sets one coin apart from billions of others. And when they find that one unique piece, the thrill is indescribable. The Illinois quarter, especially the rare variants and high-grade examples, has become a centerpiece in many private collections and museums. Even ordinary Illinois quarters in mint condition can fetch impressive prices today. A flawless proof version from the San Francisco Mint can easily sell for $30 to $50. Some mint state examples with rare errors have sold for thousands of dollars. Coins with die cracks, broad strikes, or off-center designs are particularly prized. But the ultimate dream is finding a perfect, uncirculated coin with a unique error, like the one that changed its owner's life forever with a $29 million auction record. Now, you might be wondering, what makes people pay so much for something that originally cost just 25 cents? The answer lies in three things: rarity, story, and demand. The rarer the coin, the more powerful the story behind it, and the higher the demand among passionate collectors, the greater its value. In this case, the 2003 Illinois quarter has all three. It's rare due to its minting anomaly, it has a story deeply rooted in American history, and its connection to Abraham Lincoln adds a layer of timeless appeal that transcends generations. Abraham Lincoln's presence on this coin also makes it uniquely emotional for collectors. After all, Lincoln is one of the most beloved and respected presidents in American history, a leader who guided the nation through its darkest days and helped end slavery. Seeing a young, hopeful Lincoln walking across the Illinois landscape captures something profoundly human, the journey of growth, resilience, and destiny. The coin isn't just metal, it's art that tells a story of transformation. When you look closely at the Illinois quarter, the attention to detail is truly remarkable. The farmland represents the state's foundation in agriculture, showing furrows that extend toward the horizon. The skyscrapers depict progress, Chicago rising as one of the great American cities. The outline of the state serves as a geographical signature, grounding the design in identity. And Lincoln's forward movement symbolizes the march toward the future. Even the placement of his figure, slightly off-center, walking into the open, reflects motion and aspiration. So keep your eyes open, your coins clean, and your curiosity alive. Because sometimes, the greatest treasures come disguised as ordinary change. And maybe, just maybe, the next $29 million quarter is waiting for you to find it.